chat where we talk about politics, culture, and everything in between. We have Jess with us today, and Anthony. So we are wrapping up the year. It has been quite a year. Um, I think we should just hop right into it. My question for you all is, what are some of your favorite resistance moments from 2025? Jess, can I start with you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that my new favorite moment is all of these people who are going to Home Depot, buying 17-cent ice scrapers, and then standing in line to return them as a way to protest Home Depot's support of ice. I think that
Mhm.
is just like so genius. I mean, we've been doing boycotts all year, so this is just a good way of, also disrupting their business,
Yeah.
and also not spending money. You still not spending money.
No, it's like a low barrier to entry. You're like, okay, 17 cents, here we go. And then I'm going to return it and just stand there. I love it. I love
Oh,
it.
it's genius. It's, it's genius for sure.
What about you, Anthony? What's some of your favorite resistance moments from this year?
I think the resistance was actually the people stepping up. I think that last election cycle that we just had, which wasn't a presidential cycle, I think everybody setting the tone in LA, New Jersey, Virginia. I think that just created energy across the country, for what we're seeing now. And I think that's to me that was the resistance that I like because we actually went there and made our voices be heard, and I think that just continue to light a spark and just continue to motivate, energize.
Hmm. I would agree. So my favorite resistance moment actually has been a full year exercise for me. Is I was a chronic like I have nothing to do. I'm going to go to Target and shop because I'm bored, or let me go see what Target's talking about. Oh, Target has a new drop. Let me just go. My favorite resistance says I have not shopped at Target the entire year, and that has felt so good. My pockets are really enjoying it because everything else is so expensive. Um, I mean, I do have the new problem of I shop at Costco, so now I get everything in bulk, and so I mean, I guess it limits my trips, but then also I have like a large, way too much body wash, but like it's fine. I can continue to use it. But that has certainly been my favorite resistance moment is, the place that felt safe for so many, like whether it's people of color or LGBTQ folks, like they didn't realize who their target audience is. And that's a problem. So if you don't recognize who the folks are who are actually shopping at your stores, you will continue to see, lowered foot traffic. So and it felt for me it was an easy way to participate. Now, I wish they would say I'm sorry and fix it? Absolutely. but but
Yes.
but it has been a good moment of resistance for me.
Yes, I miss Target so much. I'm actually wearing a shirt from Target's 2024 Black History Month right now. And I'm like, wow, we'll never have that again. I'll never experience buying all that black art on sweatshirts and notebooks from Target ever again, probably.
Right, which is crazy because like that was you just felt seen in there. Like you could go in. I think there's some Tabitha Brown pins that had some quotes on them that they were inspirational, and it was just like nice to be able to buy from, creators who you trust. Yes, there we go. Yep, those ones. Those exact pins. Um but yeah, it is crazy. But that's the FAFO, right? That's what's happening for Target, and they continue to see a decline in foot traffic. So be it. Is what it is.
It works both
Um,
ways.
yeah, I actually want the. I also feel like there was the glimmers of when we would feel like folks were fighting, um,
Mm.
like those fight back moments. Even, and I know it didn't. turn out the way we had hoped. But when the Texas State House um, folks from the Democrats from the Texas State House hightailed it out of there, and we're
Right.
like, we're not about to, vote. Now I know they unfortunately, had some returned for the vote that ended up passing the illegal maps that have recently been found as being illegal or racially gerrymandered maps out of Texas. But those moments, while some would argue sometimes were false hope, but they did give you like, okay, there are things we can do. It's just about strategy. And so what I think going into 2026 is aligning on strategies. That's kind of where I am.
I agree. I think sometimes it's also just showing that you're willing to fight.
Yeah.
Even if we know it's a task, we might not win, but just to show the people that we're going to do everything we can, to fight, and that again lights a spark to create other movements and get the people involved because the people are going to be the ones that decide everything. And
Yeah.
we're showing that. So I think just putting up a fight for so long has been lay back and, let's try to debate this or let's try to come to the table. But I was like, no, get out there and fight, show
Yep.
some resistance. And I think doing that is what's changing things and getting people, excited and, okay, we can fight. You're going to fight for us. We're going to continue to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have seen over this year how all of the tactics are necessary. So we do need the people, in Texas leaving their post to slow down the inevitable. We do need Cory Booker standing up for 24 plus hours, talking about everything under the sun, even though the Senate is going to like do things we don't want the Senate to do,
Yeah.
but it's just like so necessary. The boycotts, all of the No Kings protests where people
Yeah.
were out in the streets, and you think about it like that's not slowing anything down, but it's just really showing how people are together. And I think in a moment where we can make a difference, so like next year's elections or other things like that, all of that momentum will matter. Because like you said, we were, people were debating it quietly, and now it's in the public eye and we're talking about it all the time. I think that's really when we'll see it in action.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, those are our favorite resistance moments. Drop in the comments what have been your favorite resistance moments this year. All right, let's move on to it's Thanksgiving time. Um, Tell me about now, Jess. I know you and I yesterday we were talking about some of like our favorite traditions and memories for Thanksgiving, and we were kind of saying like if you are fortunate enough to have had a grandma or great grandma that was I'm going to just take a guess here for everybody that was born somewhere between 1910 and 1940, then you have an experience of having a Thanksgiving that feels robust, feels warm, feels cozy, no matter the size of the house, no matter, what's on the table, there was always something for someone. So I want to hear what was happening in your house. Either of you can start.
Well, with me, it was, and I was just, reflecting on this earlier. I just couldn't, my grandmother had 7 kids. Each, and then I have so many cousins, and then, her siblings would come from, out of state. Then we had, in-laws and this and that. My thing is, I rolled back and I looked at my grandmother's house, that we grew up in and the size of it and how small it actually was and how we all fit in the house. And I mean, it didn't seem crowded. Nobody was complaining. I mean, it was organized, the way the food was spread. Everybody had extras to take home. It was, felt we pile up in the basement. They'd be upstairs, like it was card games going on. It was all of this. Just to think of how, you know, grandma could put all of that together, and it'd be seamless. It would be, my mom and one of my aunts. Somebody's gonna be arguing, preparing the food during the
Always.
week. Picking the green. It's gonna be some of that. But when it came down to the actual day, I mean, it was just it went off seamlessly. And just to think how today how we struggle to try to put stuff together,
Mhm.
and even with a fraction of the people, and to me that's what I miss. I just miss the family, the community, because we all came together and just had a great time. I remember making my plate, falling asleep, fixing them, just having just a great time with your family, your in laws, your friends, and everybody who came over. But that's what grandma did for it was community. It was a safe space. It was where everybody was welcome. Everybody, no matter who you brought, it wasn't who you bring. Everybody was welcome.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. Like my great grandmother, there was just people coming in and out of the house, and you're not quite sure how you're related to these people, or if you are related to these people. Are these just the neighbors, or are these like cousins? But there was always enough food.
Mhm.
And I think back, like, they didn't have a lot of money, and we still don't have a lot of money, but like somehow my great grandmother had a fried turkey and a ham and a regular turkey and spaghetti or lasagna, fried chicken. Like there was just so many options and so much food, and nobody ever lacked. Like you said, people, it was always enough to take home. It was always enough to eat as much as you want, and it is like they knew how to create both community and abundance. Like, and they never worried about it. You didn't hear your grandmother wringing her hands about what are we gonna eat for Thanksgiving. Like she had a plan and it was gonna get done.
Yeah, it's like the seamlessness of it that still blows my mind, because I was like, how did they do this? Because this year, the last couple years, I've cooked full Thanksgiving dinner, and I've been like, oh my God, I'm not doing that. Like, no. And never. My grandma would just, she'd get up, she'd do it with the whole family was there. And to your point, Anthony, like our house wasn't big, but somehow
Right.
everybody pulled up a TV tray on the couch. We had a place to
Mhm.
eat, just to socialize. You didn't
Yeah.
know who was coming, but everyone was welcome. And I even think of, we had this my grandma had this thing about overcooking vegetables. And we would always we still laugh about it, because somehow her greens would always like, how long did you cook these? But everything else would be perfect. But we couldn't figure out like what was it. We just chopped it up to a generational thing. Like maybe you just had to cook it for a long time. But it's like those types of memories, because even when we come together now, we'll laugh about it. We'll bring it up like, oh, you remember how grandma used to overcook the greens and we couldn't figure out why? And but it's those memories that you share with your family now, and
Right.
we didn't have a lot, but it always felt like a lot, and felt like just
It-
warm. And
right.
yeah.
Even the grace, even I used to hate when one of my great uncles would go because they start confessing their sins and
Oh yeah.
all the things that food smelling so good. I'm ready to eat. It's going on for 10 minutes. Everybody's looking at each other. Just those type of
Yeah.
memories as well.
Oh,
I
those
know
are
people
fun.
used to say like, "Oh, we went around the table and said what we were grateful for," and I realized that we couldn't do that. It was too many people,
Oh yeah,
and that's
no,
why we
ain't no
didn't do
way.
it. I always was like, "Well, why doesn't my family do that? That seems like a good practice." But like,
50
there's
people.
35 people.
Oh, nah.
We'll be here all night and we'll never eat.
Right. Mm-mm.
Well, from our families to yours, we want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving from the
Yes.
village, and celebrate, be safe, and enjoy this time, because it has certainly been a crazy, crazy year. So this is the time to show gratitude to those who are around you. So thank you, and thanks for hanging with us this year.
Happy
Thank you.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.